ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ahmed El-Gamal from MetLife, and I would like to welcome you all to another edition of the Financial Wellness Speaker Series. Here at MetLife, we're very excited to run these sessions for our insurance community to provide thought leadership from subject matter and experts in the industry. And today we have an excellent group of panelists joining us. Firstly, Rajashree Anand, Associate Vice President, Wealth Insurance Products for Emerson BD. Hi, Rajashree.
Hi, thank you for having me.
As well, we also have Kudsieh Al Moudhi, Executive Consultant from MetLife Agency. Hi, Kudsieh.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And we also have Srini, from Unit Manager from Kuwait MetLife Agency. Hi, Srini.
Hi, it's a pleasure having all of you all.
Pleasure having you all. I really want to thank you all for joining us today for this session. In today's topic, it's a topic that's very actually close to my heart. It's relationships with customers in the digital world. And the reason why it's very close to my heart, because I actually represent retail marketing here at MetLife. And with our customer-focused approach and our transformative digital initiatives, we always circle back to how much this impact the customer and how does digital help and enhance the customer's life. So especially in an industry with this age-old saying that insurance is sold, not bought, I think this is going to be a very interesting discussion. And especially in this fast-moving digital era where COVID has impacted a lot of change in customer behavior as with digital, I think there is a growing need for customer protection. And I think we'll have a few questions and a few topics that we'd like to discuss with you. So first off, I would like to present my first question to Rajashree. According to a report by Accenture, they say that 90% of insurance respondents say that in 5 years, consumers will buy most of insurance solutions through online and mobile applications. How do you think this will impact your line of business, especially here in the UAE?
In the last 1 year, what has become very obvious is that customers have embraced the digital way of life in almost all aspects. So earlier in the past, we used to think a new app or a new device is digital transformation. So it's no longer so. So digital transformation is about using technology to focus on customers and how to reach out to customers across different industries and product lines. That is what it is today. So in the UAE, especially with the government taking the lead in digital solutions, I think the insurance industry has already seen its own, digital championing, so to say. So if you were to divide the digital transformation into, say, 4 aspects, the first thing I would take is smart operations. The smart operations is where we embed the customer journey into the digital realm. For example, customers file claims online, they track their claims online, they change static information on policies online. Sometimes even people buy certain non-life policies online. So that we are already there. We are already doing it. Most of the companies offer that. And that leads to certain passive touch points where insurance companies give leads on products, which is the next stage, which is the digital transformation, wherein you offer the existing products online. We are doing that as well. So most of the companies are offering that as well. And the third one is where companies use data analytics to mine the data. We have insurance companies and banks have rich data. So this helps them in positioning the products and using technology. That is also being done. Propensity models are being created. We are doing this as well. The last and final stage, according to me, is digital innovation, wherein we have to create new products. That is probably an area which is still growing, still developing. A lot of work needs to be done. So in my opinion, it's already had its impact, and it's going to have a much larger impact in the years to come.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I think I see that, especially in the UAE, we have been transforming our approach digitally, innovating with our products, and digitalizing experience. I think there's a lot that happened, and there's a lot that will happen in the future. Thank you so much for your response. Kudsieh, the next question I have is for you. What do you think is the right balance between digital and human interactions when it comes to the relationships customers have with insurance or financial products?
Yeah, actually, very good questions. This as the technology evolves, there is a talk of the unavoidable battle between the automation of a job and human interaction. While some people believe technology will replace the average human worker, the eventual outcome is probably not as simple as these, since human interaction remains superior in a number of instances. So what I think, what we practiced last 1 year is, yeah, some small cases that we can replace that, like meeting the client physically and do this digital meeting, and it works. But yes, we can't deny that when there is critical cases that we have to interfere and we have to involve personally to solve the problem. So still, I think that that the human touch is remaining, like have a like what we say. Still, it's a needed in some very problematic cases. So that's what I think.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. Definitely, I think human interaction does play a very important role, especially in the critical cases. I think which leads me on to my next question. This one is for you, Srini. So face-to-face insurance sales involves a lot of reading the customer, right? Like empathy reading and tapping into emotional intelligence. How do you feel or think digital can compete against that? And then I have a follow-up question based on your response.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed, for asking this question, and it's very interesting. You know, we've all our life, we have been doing face-to-face meetings for every part of our transactions, or in any to have a sale, or even to do a customer service. Now, this pandemic, COVID-19, has transformed, as Rajashree said in the first question, that things are getting changed, things are getting digitalized to an extent. Yes. Now, as far as the back office are concerned, and as customer service are concerned, like claims and doing a little bit of changes in POS, all those things are happening. But when you, and to an extent, yes, an insurance which is based on vanilla insurance is a good things to go around to do digitally. But when you talk about sales to do a high ticket number with high value, that requires a lot of in-depth need-based analysis to understand the appetite of the customer, what he wants, what is his financial need. Though you can do all these things digitally, but when you sit face to face, there are a lot of other things comes up. Probably things like his pre-existing problems. How can we manage that? All these things he would be probably not very comfortable to digitally talk about it. So this on face to face, it makes more sense and more comfortable for a prospect to speak about. But let's, as Rajashree also said, it's going to take time. It will take another 10 years, 15 years. See, UAE is more advanced, but if you see the other part of the Gulf countries, there's yet to get matured to get totally digital. Right, Ahmed?
Yeah, great. Yeah. But as that digital evolution evolves, especially when it comes to empathy reading, do you think that artificial intelligence will ever reach a stage where it can take over that role?
Sure, and definitely the boats are already there. They are going to do the same thing, but it's going to take time. It's going to, I mean, as I just said earlier, the market here of being more expatriate market, they are still not mature to absorb that. So because there is an uncertainty has always been there in this market, that people are going to be here for a longer time with new regulations coming in and out. People are not able to handle it. So maybe over a period of time, we hope that things get better for all of us and we still go back to face to face. And in fact, very important, Ahmed, digitally is good. Now, what people are still, I mean, we can enjoy both of it. I mean, we can enjoy the digital part of it and also the face to face also. So we'll hope that this particular pandemic gets over the people and we all get has this vaccination globally and we come back to square one as well.
Great. No, thank you for your response. We were just joined right now by Satinder Aggarwal, CEO of Seguro. How are you, Satinder? How are things?
I'm not good. Good afternoon, guys. Sorry to kind of barge in a bit late here. Sorry.
No problem,
Late.
not at all, not a problem. It's casual at the end of the day. So while you're here, I have a question for you since you just joined. It's a question I actually asked Rajashree, but I'd love to get your point of view. So according to the report by Accenture that say 90% of insurance respondents say that in 5 years, consumers will buy most of their insurance through online and mobile apps. What do you think this will impact your line of business, especially here in the UAE?
I think what they're talking about there is they've not bifurcated whether it is a life insurance or on the non-life part. What we have seen basically right now is on the non-life part, a lot of people, a lot of consumers are anyways going on the online path. Fortunately and hopefully, what I think is on the life insurance piece, people would still want an advisor to sit in front, understand their requirement. It could be a simple like a term plan, but still the client needs to be convinced he was going for a larger 35, 40 years tenure than a 15 or 20 years tenure. So I would believe still on the life insurance part, we still have a headroom. We still kind of talk in terms of getting a good education done for our kids, hopefully next 10, 15 years without really bothering whether everything will go online way. So while the survey is there, I think it can be further dissected towards life and non-life piece. And I believe we still have good room, possibly not even for next 5 years, maybe even beyond. Life insurance is more of a personal subject. It's not exactly that I can renew it every year like my car or any other insurance. It's a contract that I'm getting into for longer tenure. I would want to understand the company, want to understand the death ratio, want to understand the claim ratio there. So I believe we have a job insecured on those lines.
Great, thank you for your response. Back to Rash, I have a question for you. What is your take on social selling? You know, we're starting to see a trend now, especially like now that COVID has kind of impacted the way people are working. People are going, brokers or RMs or agents or advisors are going directly to customers. Do you think that we will see this as a growing trend in the future? And what are your thoughts on it?
My opinion, it will become an integral part of the business life cycle, just like we had the snail mail in the past, then the EDMs. Social selling will also become an integral part of the insurance life cycle, the selling life cycle. I see social selling in three aspects, predominantly the reactive one, which is where most people are, where they react to comments on their products and services, and the proactive one, where they are actively involved and they use it as a marketing tool. And then the embedded one, just like what MetLife is doing, where they're engaging with clients, engaging with experts. You had these online seminars during the early COVID days, and you promoted it on all your channels. So a lot of companies are also embracing social selling in different form and fashion. One example I would like to quote, which I came across quite some time back in 2010, this company called Friendsurance in Germany. They started a peer-to-peer insurance. They had friends on Facebook collectively to buy a non-life policy. Of course, it was a non-life policy wherein a certain amount of premiums are put away for small claims. And it was actually very successful, and fraudulent claims were not there. People were able to save on their premiums for subsequent years, because if you put in a fraudulent claim, you're actually damaging your friend's interest, because all of you have bought the policy together. So things like this, I think, will start becoming more and more popular. And also in one of the surveys I came across by EY, in the survey it said that non-life insurance, almost 80% of them use Facebook to communicate with clients. So I think there's no escaping from that. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Great, thank you so much for your response. On social settings, Srini, this question is back at you. So while we see a lot of times that insurance companies generally face a lot of regulation when it comes to social selling, but when it comes to the people on the ground, I am not aware of regulations personally. But do you feel that this is going to be a category that will be regulated or needs regulation, or what are your thoughts on that?
Ahmed, yes, I think definitely there has to be some sort of a regulation, but it's going to be difficult to make it globally. In the sense, what I'm in social selling, we need to get regulated by though our products are all regulated, it is compliance and legal approved and all those things, but eventually it has to be standardized for any social selling, because when we are dealing about any financial related products, we need to regularize a product in that they should have some standardized regulations which needs to be in the social selling. It's very important, but how they are going to do it globally, because it's a task. It's a task, and I don't think so. It's going to happen soon, because I mean, so far I've not seen any social selling, any insurance company advertising maybe in WhatsApp, or maybe in Facebook, or maybe in Twitter. I'm not seeing any product just popping up just like that, and it's very difficult to just accept without any standardized regulations.
Yeah, no, I thank you for your response. I see what you mean. COVID has impacted the way we do business. You know, there's parts of it obviously that are very difficult and challenging. That you can't see people face to face, but at the same time, it has cut down commute time. So what I guess the question I have for you is, this good for our industry or not? Because obviously there's a heightened awareness for protection, an increase that there's increase for protection, but at the same time, people could say that business is now a lot faster. What's your point of view on that?
Perfect. If you can just rephrase the question as well, please.
Sure. Yeah. I was saying COVID has impacted the way we see people physically because of the distance and obviously social distance. Now, on one side of things, you could say there's a heightened need for protection, and on the other side of things, you could say it's become difficult to see people face to face. But we're also probably working a lot faster, a lot more efficiently. But at the same time, customers may not be the most comfortable to sign high-ticket items online. What is your point of view on that in terms of how it's impacting our industry, and is it good or is it bad, and where do you see it going?
Obviously, customers will not be interested or not be comfortable signing a high-ticket size completely on an online conversation, but it's a good entry point at least. Customers are more keen to understand. They're definitely open to have Zoom meetings or a Skype meetings or whichever way they're comfortable with. That's happening, at least that's a good entry point. So you don't have to kind of travel across the globe. So that travel time, that cost time, obviously that has considerably reduced, whether we're talking about globally or locally as well. So that's become a plus point. So you can have a good conversation with the clients over the Zoom call and try to get his pulse and pitch the product according to customization. But still a high ticket size, obviously, as of now, look, maybe down the line you might still have completely end-to-end over online. But as of now, looks like it's a good entry point, but the final closure will still have, the client might still want to see one face-to-face meeting before doing a complete closure.
Right.
My personal take to it.
Thank you for your response. Kudsieh, the same question is for you. What are your thoughts on the way COVID has impacted the way you would see clients?
This question for me, Ahmed?
No, for Kudsieh. I'm not sure if she has.
Let Shani answer actually. Yeah, let's hear from. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure, Srini, go for it.
Yes, why not? Ahmed, yes, to an extent, I would say that what Satinder said is right. It has impacted basically awareness. People have become more conscious of securing some sort of a product which is going to cover them. They're going to have some sort of a shield. They are definitely not. Primarily, they want to know about it. There is an awareness which is created. They want to know what kind of a product you have, how can you protect us, and there is any kind of a product. And going forward, there are people who absorb some sort of a plain vanilla insurance. That is okay. But selling a high ticket one could be a very difficult one in this scenario as well, because people, as I said earlier in the earlier question which you asked me about face to face, people need to understand the product. They want to know what are the pros and cons, which can be which can be only done face to face. Over the years, let's hope things get better. I always still believe that things we can enjoy both of things. You can enjoy the digital part of it and face to face also. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you. I like your optimism. You're always giving me an optimistic response so far. There's always a happy note, and the way you close your responses. All right. So back to Rajashree. So we see different demands between digital or human interactions depending on the customer demographic and persona. if you take, for example, brands like Uber, they've completely digitized that end-to-end experience, where sometimes even some demographics would say, I want to, check the option where I don't even want the driver to talk to me. I want a completely silent experience. So when it comes to insurance, is there a best practice or toolkit that you could advise on how digital could play a role in that digitization?
See, we live in an era called with the digital natives. And the digital natives, sometimes they just prefer to text. They don't want to talk. So we are either a digital native or a digital immigrant. So we want it or not, we'll have to go with the time. So having said that, we have access to a lot more information. We can compare prices and quotes online, and this is what the digital natives generally tend to do. They go and shop everywhere, even a simple motor insurance, they go and shop across. So these things are there and they are bound to happen. So basically, insurance companies, in my opinion, should look for more transparency in terms of, in the toolkit. The most important thing I would think is transparency and the desired outcome. It is not just getting the right product or identifying a certain gap or a need and plugging it with the right product. It is the entire outcome that they want to achieve. What do they want the customer to feel at the end of the day? So if you have a fair amount of transparency and if you're totally customer centric in terms of the value proposition, I think that is the most important thing that they will need to have when addressing the digital natives, because they're going to look for everything online and then they're going to decide. So like the Uber example, they may not want to speak. I seem to be the odd person here because everybody feels face-to-face. Yeah, face-to-face is important. I'm sure it depends on the product, but I think the digital immigrants would like to read it and absorb it before they go and discuss it with somebody else.
Can I interrupt on this, if you don't mind, Ahmed?
Yes.
Okay, yes, yeah. What happens is, since when you are in a banker, you already have customers which you know them, you are aware of them, and they are more confident in dealing with you in any ways. I mean, you guys are a clear winner in that way. But us, we need to do a lot of hard work, and I'm sure Satinder would agree to that. That we need to do a lot of hard work in getting a sale closed. So. It's pretty difficult, and we always prefer, since face-to-face has a lot of you need a lot of skills and reading the customer, what is his intention, his moves, his body language. So we go forward with that. I'm not saying this digitally it could be done, but both need to take. I mean, especially in this market where there is an expatriate market. It could take a long time. I'm sure. I mean, in the West, definitely things are happening like that, because in the West, there are people who are citizens of the country. They know they belong to that country, and things have been happening for a long time, unlike the Middle East and the Gulf. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your response. Kudsieh, I have a question for you. Have you had a personal experience where digital was a clear winner, or human interaction was a clear winner, or both? Do let us know your thoughts.
Actually, I have both experiences. Like digital initially in the last year, which is the lockdown period, like was we have to follow, because everybody concerned to his health, and we are concerned also to our health, and we don't want to get this virus to our families and also to clients' families. So yes, we start adapting that digitalized meeting, and it works. Actually, it works because there is no other option. But when it comes to client comfortable zone, like he would like to meet us in person, because this will allow him to ask more, to get into details more, and the confidence which we will have between us and the client can allow him to also build up good relation with us, because till now cases we closed without personal meeting, without physical visit to the client, still has a doubt and still has certain things which is the client need to review it on the renewal time. So this I agreed, it was It was good in that time where we need to do the business anyway. The client needs our product and we need to sell the product to the client and we need to make the things work. But yes, I agreed with you, like on the renewal time, still, if we can go and meet the client in person, so that will help. And that will build up the relation for long years to come. Especially in insurance industry, that touch of a human, touch of face-to-face still has a strong influence on the relationship between the client and the person who's coming to sell, or the company, or the representative of the company. So yes, but agreed with you, we need to continue efforts on making the clients like has a strong confidence in digital meetings, on webinar, on this type of things, which we present to the client and ask him to just involve in it, because yes, we think that now this coronavirus is coming again, and this everybody now come to feel like, okay, let's avoid now personal meetings and let's go back to that. Now I think the client start believing that this digitalized system and meetings and tools is really good, and it's gonna save lives. And yeah, I do believe that there is balance between two, but still that human touch is still strong, affecting the clients and the relationship between the both of the parties, I guess. So yeah, working on it still.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a journey. It's
And
definitely the time to find the right balance. Yeah, thank you so much for your response. The next question I have is for Satinder. So, I mean, in the US, I think Srini also touched upon that a while ago. But in the US, we've seen a rise of insurance companies that are completely end-to-end on digital. Do you think we're ready for such an experience here in the Gulf? Do you think that, yes, it might be different from different product lines, whether it's term or non-term, but there are certain companies that right now that are doing it, and it's end-to-end experience online that they don't have a brick and mortar space even sometimes to go and walk into. What's your opinion on that, and do you think we're ready for it in the Gulf?
I think we are not ready for it, obviously, right now. We obviously, the Gulf obviously has the advantage that there is a synergies of multinationalities, people kind of finding their home in Gulf. Unlike US is more of US domicile, and there are the section of non-US people in US obviously are very less compared to Gulf itself. So we see mix of nationalities here with mix of religion and mix of mindset with people coming in. So the traditional mindset of people always has been, people who are coming in also, that it's better to meet up. As far as insurance is concerned, it's a long-term piece. Better to kind of meet up in person and possibly take your decision. But in terms of the digitalization journey which US has already witnessed, are we ready for it? Not really. Are we getting ready for it? Possibly, yes. I'm sure we're getting ready for it. COVID obviously has helped to that cause in terms of pushing it the way it has been. Okay, the kind of meetings that we're doing right now, obviously the meetings, the number of meetings right now, number of touch points have increased tremendously than what we used to do previously. Right, I would like to believe that that's common across the table here. So we could be ready. Possibly the data is talking about 4-5 years from now, whether we would be ready for that journey. Possibly, yes. Different products will have different response to it, but I think we are faster moving towards that trajectory.
Great. Yeah, thank you for your response. Next is for Srini. So what do you think are the drawbacks of digital? I mean, everything has a positive and negative, right? And you've been positive a lot of times. So what would you say the drawback of digital? I mean, it's a double-edged sword in this scenario. What's like the part that we should have as a watch out for?
The first thing I would like to say, what Rajashree said earlier, is transparency. See, the digital has got something which can't be, everything can't be good about digital. There are some things which can't be good, like transparency, something which has got to do with security. So all those things put to hand, digital drawbacks. I mean, it's good for handling queries, your customer service, back office resolution as of now. As of now, what we are doing and what I have seen. Now, for example, during a shutdown of, Kuwait has been shut down for 6 months practically. So there was no much of business in terms of revenue, but there was a lot of back office things like getting premiums paid, servicing in back end, all those things. But there was absolutely no revenues which was generated. So there's still people are not able to absorb that fact. They are still not matured enough to do a sale digitally. So this is one of the things which I feel very important things, especially in our industry, which still needs to get matured and to go forward for selling. Thank you.
I know what you mean. Thank you for your response. And for my last question today, Rajashree, right? This is an exciting topic. What's your point of view and opinion on bots? Do customers like them, or do they close them as soon as they know that it's a bot on the other side? It's not a real human being. What's your opinion on that? And do you think that bots and automation someday will take over our jobs?
It can be frustrating dealing with a bot, so let me make that very clear. Even something that is slightly out of context from the programmed FAQ, then it takes you on a tangent. It is very difficult. But having said that, and since I'm very pro-digital, I came across this company called ServiceBot. It's a technology company which offers IA-powered chatbots for the insurance industry. So apparently in Ireland, this company called AA Ireland, which is one of the leading insurance companies, which offers both life and non-life, but predominantly in the non-life space, they have deployed this chatbot which speaks the natural language and which helps customers complete their entire digital purchase. It helps customers completing the documentation, and so long as we have such high-powered AI-enabled bots which speak the natural language, I think it can be a success, and it will at some point in time. I won't go as far as taking over, but yes, it will play a large role in in making things convenient for the customer in terms of these standard regular transactional things that they are engaged in. So that is my personal opinion, and I went and searched for the company. I googled, it is there, and they are providing such chatbots. So I suppose it will happen. It will take time. Yeah, they will not take over. That there will be considerable cost savings, in my opinion. So if you have, that is what I think most of the insurance industry experts also feel, that if you deploy these kind of intelligent bots, it may result in a certain amount of cost saving. Significant amount of. Sorry?
I said loss of job also. I mean, boats coming into the picture, there could be a lot of loss of jobs.
See, sometimes you just have to evolve. You have to. I mean, did we know that we're going to meet like this virtually, have a conference?
Absolutely. That's what.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a very good thing that
we will naturally adapt to it. We will also change.
Yeah. That's absolutely. That's what I'm saying. To interact, to know about things, it's perfectly okay. I mean, primarily, let's hope for the best. We all have all this globally. The vaccine, which is just spreading around, we pray and hope that vaccine is given globally, and we enjoy both face-to-face and digital relationship with the customers all over the world.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. This was insightful, and I want to thank you all for making the time today, taking part in this financial wellness speaker series session. It's been a great pleasure and an honor for me to moderate this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time for tuning in, and we'll see you at another time in another MetLife Financial Wellness Speaker Series. Everyone have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you. It was nice knowing you all. Looking forward. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Looking forward to be in another session, Ahmed. Thank you very much. Thanks all.
Thank you, Rajashree. It was nice knowing you.
Nice meeting you all. Thanks, Ahmed. Hi. Thank you, Satinder and Kudsieh.
Thanks, Satinder. Look forward.
Bye, Kudsieh. Bye, Rajashree. Bye. See you guys. Bye.
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 Bye.